Thunderstruck by Words of Honeydew. Read by NostalgicPavements. Summary. Alex, slow down. Henry pulls away softly from Alex's taut grasp. Are you feeling all right now? Yeah, I think I'm okay. Alex smiles back meekly at Henry's heedful gaze. Alex feels like he has gotten way ahead of himself. I'm just a huge astraphobic ever since I was little. Guess I never grew out of it. As Alex charges his way toward his dorm, he realizes the rain above him has started to cascade harder. The weather forecast had said there was going to be a thunderstorm at 4 that afternoon, but when he looks down at his watch to find it's only 3:11 p.m., he prays that the universe will have some mercy on him. He rushes as fast as he can toward the safety of his dorm room, with a cinnamon coffee in his hand and his backpack sliding off his shoulders the faster he sprints. It isn't the rain he's worried about per se, but rather the actual fucking thunder set to crackle through the atmosphere at any moment. He makes it through the door of the lobby and scans his student ID at the turnstile, silently cursing himself when he notices the coffee dripping down the cup and onto his fingers. When Alex finally makes it to his dorm room, he practically throws his backpack on the floor next to his twin-size bed, where it lands with a loud thud. He doesn't even notice his roommate's already there until he speaks. Hey. Henry peeks over the book he's reading, glasses perched almost at the tip of his nose and eyebrows furrowed at Alex's sudden entrance. If Alex's anxiety wasn't at its peak right now, he would most likely be pining over how fucking cute Henry looked wearing his thick-brimmed glasses like a 70-year-old librarian. He opens his mouth to muster a hello, but he's crudely interrupted by the first crackling of thunder and a strike of lightning in tandem, causing Alex's whole body to flinch in pure terror. The coffee in his hand spills on his fingers again as his hands begin to tremble, so he makes his way to the bedside table that stands between their beds, sets down the coffee, and crawls onto his bed without uttering a word. Are you all right, Alex? Henry asks. Alex stares at the wall across from him, hands clenching and unclenching incessantly around the untucked bedsheet below him. His breathing becomes ragged as his chest begins to feel tight. The roaring sound of thunder rolls through again, and his body reacts viscerally, as if the thunder erupted from his own chest, an involuntary tremor running through his body. He can't vitalize himself to speak, or even move his body for that matter. Then the discomfiture begins to revolve around him. How fucking embarrassing it is to have a total freak out over a thunderstorm at the grown age of 22 and in front of his crush. Alex is absolutely mortified that Henry has to see him like this. You're definitely not okay, Henry says worriedly. Alex still can't bring himself to look at Henry, but he can hear him close his book, set it down on the side table, and stand up from his bed. Is it the thunder? Henry is standing by the side of his bed now, as Alex can see from his peripheral vision. The thunder sounds again, and if Henry hasn't gotten his answer yet, he definitely got it now. Alex's breaths begin to shorten and become more rapid as his lungs tighten beneath his rib cage, and Henry is immediately by his side, sitting in the little space provided by the small beds the dorms furnished. Hey, Alex, look at me, Henry whispers, grabbing Alex by his shoulders and trying to turn him so that Alex's body is facing him. His touch is gentle, receptive to how fragile Alex is. Alex can't comprehend anything happening to him in that moment. He can't even process the fact that the love of his life is in such close proximity to him. In any other situation, this would have been ideal, but not now. Not when he was completely out of his fucking mind. Henry takes both of Alex's hands into his as another ripple of thunder resounds, and Alex breaks into a sob. All the air sucks out of his lungs and a whimper escapes his throat. Alex. He presses one of Alex's hands to his chest and the other one to his own. Follow my breathing. It's okay. Henry's voice is saccharine and reassuring, the words rolling off his lips like honey. Alex tries to level his breathing while his hands tremble against Henry's, his eyes fixating on the broad chest in front of him. Can you count with me, darling? I can't, Alex manages to say through his broken sobs. We'll take it slow, all right. Henry begins to count every deep breath he takes, then quietly reminds Alex to look at him. And when Alex does, it's like his body is reconstructed. The ring of those cerulean eyes that Henry possesses sends Alex into a trance-like state. His lungs are able to expand again, and the quivering of his body decreases almost instantly. Don't cry, sweetheart. Henry wipes Alex's tear-stained face with the pads of his thumbs, then brushes the loose strands of dark, wet curls behind his ear. Alex is in utter shock at the foreign pet names that come so naturally from Henry's mouth, from the man he had so carefully avoided out of fear that he would get rejected or make a complete fool of himself in general. The touch of Henry's hand against his face was so aberrant to their usual brushing of shoulders in their small dorm room, or Henry's cordial handshakes every time they passed by each other on campus. It is so intimate and maudlin, everything about it, with every bit of Alex's emotions splayed out in front of Henry, and Henry just taking it, accepting it. This is so fucking embarrassing, Alex hiccups, a sheepish smile playing at his lips. His eyes are swollen and as red as his cheeks. Henry's Adam's apple bobs in his throat like he's trying to hold something back. He is focused on Alex, the same acute and intense look in his eyes, and it's just too much. Yet, Alex can't bring himself to look away. You're beautiful. At first, Alex thinks that he must have misheard Henry. The sweet whisper of Henry's voice to his ears still buzzing from the loud thunder. It was probably his mind playing tricks on him, right? But Henry says it again, louder this time. Before Alex has the chance to react, Henry's lips are on his, gentle and chaste, treacly and tender, and everything in between. Henry brings one of his hands down to Alex's chest, resting it there attentively and feeling the light thrum of Alex's heartbeat. Henry's movements alleviate any last ounce of stress residing in him. The thunder is long forgotten, a distant sound now. When Henry pulls away, his cheeks are flushed a blazing red, And Alex is, well, he's completely thunderstruck. Am I dreaming right now? Alex asks distractedly, still preoccupied by the chasm of Henry's deep blue eyes. I'm afraid not, Henry chuckles. Then, without hesitation, Alex is crashing his lips into Henry's in a deep and passionate kiss. The ache in his chest is replaced by a distinct fluttering feeling, the sentiment he gets when Henry catches him stealing glances from across the room. And he realizes that these irrevocable feelings for his roommate are very much more than just a little crush. Alex's lips are fervent against Henry's as his hands grasp at the collar of his t-shirt. Henry opens his mouth as Alex sucks at his bottom lip, coaxing a small whimper out of him. Their lips and tongues move expeditiously, chasing each other, swallowing the little noises that escape their throats. God, Alex breaks the kiss, their lips brushing. Why didn't it storm weeks ago? He presses a kiss to Henry's chin, and then the side of his jaw, eliciting another gasp from him. Crying in front of you has to be the most humiliating thing to ever happen to me. Alex, slow down. Henry pulls away softly from Alex's taut grasp. Are you feeling all right now? Yeah, I think I'm okay. Alex smiles back meekly at Henry's heedful gaze. Alex feels like he has gotten way ahead of himself. I'm just a huge astrophobic ever since I was little. Guess I never grew out of it. If it makes you feel any better, I have nyctophobia. A fear of the dark. Alex laughs incredulously, making Henry roll his eyes. Is that why you sleep with the bedside lamp on all night? Maybe, he replies ruefully. Well, that actually does make me feel a bit better, Alex answers candidly, a playful smirk on his lips. Henry shoves his shoulder in response, and then silence falls over them. Alex still feels slightly awkward post-panic attack, and his hand is still sticky from the coffee that he hadn't bothered to clean off. The butterflies in his chest are persistent now. He figures since they have kissed already, it's only sensible that he establishes how he truly feels toward Henry, but that's not to say that it isn't still nerve-wracking. Just do it. He braces himself, sucking in a deep breath. I really like you, Henry. I have for a while now, actually. Alex gulps. I just didn't know if you were into guys. Henry lets out a laugh, a sweet sound propagating in the air between them, and Alex can't help but admire his toothy smile and the way his golden hair moves fluidly when he throws his head back. Alex, I wear a pride flag pin on my tote bag and I'm head of the GSA. Henry's eyebrows are raised so high they might as well have lifted off his face. Wait, seriously? Now this is embarrassing. How did Alex manage to overlook all of this? If he had known before, he wouldn't have had such doubts about Henry reciprocating his feelings. Bloody hell, you're as thick as it gets. If anything, I thought you were straight. You run track and you're friends with a bunch of macho men. Ouch, you don't think a macho man could have a preference for men? How prejudiced of you. Alex teases, bringing a hand to his chest. Oh, shut up, Henry says, before pressing his lips to Alex's yet again. Alex immediately falls into his touch, his lips pliant against Henry's as they come together in another lustful kiss, After a few minutes, Henry pulls Alex to his chest so that his head is resting in between his neck and shoulder. His hand reaches to the back of Alex's head, running his calloused fingers through his hair, which he really seems to like a lot. Alex isn't complaining though. He enjoys it equally as much. Thank you for, calming me down. Alex shifts his head back to look at Henry, only to find that Henry's gaze is already fixed on him. Corners of Henry's lips turn up ever so slightly, and a flicker of emotion that Alex can't distinguish glistens in his eyes. You're quite all right. Plus, I'd do it 1,000 times over if it meant I could hold you like this, he whispers, his breath tickling the hair that had fallen over Alex's forehead. Alex brings his head back down to hide the pink flush in his cheeks. And, Henry continues, if you have no objection, I was wondering if you'd like to go on a date. He aimlessly traces a pattern on Alex's arm with his index finger, causing him to shiver. For once, Alex isn't nervous. He doesn't feel as high-strung as he typically does around his roommate. Being in his arms feels natural, like it isn't the first time their bodies have touched so innocently. But most of all, Alex feels safe. And for the first time ever, he isn't cursing Mother Nature for quite literally raining down on him. I would love that. Thank God for Thunderstorm.